Unfortunately, I was evicted from my house where I used to live, which was also very stressful. When I got in touch with my so-called friend, they were quite supportive, trying to help me, and that's kind of how I thought things were going. I didn't lose my job. It wasn't the right job for me. I asked if they could help me out short term, and then unfortunately, from my point of view, things didn't really improve. Bang, on came the interest charges, and that's when everything started to go downhill. When the charges first started being added, I just thought, it wasn't sort of that much at first. It was, say I'd borrowed £100 off them, they would normally put £10, £20 on there, and at first that seemed all right. In total, I borrowed £2,200, which I had paid him back. But then he then said that he basically wanted £4,500 off me, and then obviously from then, that's when threats started to come in, and things started getting pretty nasty. They basically threatened to come and set me on fire in my own house. At that point, I probably should have contacted someone, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. But then, like I say, it got to the point where he was then threatening me over the phone. I don't think anyone should have to go through suffering threats like that. I was frightened to go out of my house because I didn't know who was going to be around. I didn't know who was going to be waiting when I came home. I actually tried to take my own life. It got to that point where I just felt I had no one else to turn to. I didn't know what else to do. At that point, I thought, if I'm not here, he can't do nothing to me. But that is the wrong way to go about things. Sometimes, it does look like an easy way out, but it's not. Because the one thing to consider is, if you ever are thinking along those lines, just think about the other people who you're going to hurt if you're not around. If it hadn't been for my housing officer, I wouldn't have even known about the illegal money lending team. And we contacted them one Thursday morning, and then the help I've received from them has just been absolutely brilliant. First person I spoke to, he was great. He came out to my house to see me, basically talked me through everything what was going to happen, everything what that could be done, and I said, I need to stop this person from doing it to anyone else, because I was aware that there were other people involved as well. Everything was just done very quickly. It was just so progressive. But the one thing I will say is I was also kept informed all the way as well as to what was happening. I felt like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulders because I knew I was then getting professional help. I was getting help from people who deal with this day in, day out. So-called friend was arrested. The amount of support that I have received in terms of personal support from the team's been fantastic. In terms of, I've had help with food vouchers, fuel bank vouchers, and just always knowing that there was another person there to talk to. It's not just a case of going to the money lending team, letting them do what they need to do and investigating, and then you kind of get forgotten about because you don't. There's always another avenue to go down where they can give you a lot of help and support. One other thing that was put in place for myself, which was really helpful, obviously due to the threats that I'd received in regards to being set on fire and whatever, I was informed by the money lending team that they could actually put what's called a blue light marker on my address, which then meant that if I ever felt threatened or if anyone ever came to my address who I didn't want there, obviously they would have my address and they will be able to see that straight away on the system. And the assistance that you would then get is pretty much immediate. And just having that in the back of my mind, knowing that, you know, if someone could turn up and I might not know who it is, having that option to then just automatically ring the police and they will be there, but you know you've always got that potential of the blue light marker there or the address to keep you safe as well. I feel much better in myself. I'm back having a good social life. I'm back out and about doing stuff. And I 100% feel so much better. So, yeah, I mean, I would stress ultimately if anyone else is in the same situation, please make that step. Don't let anyone put you off. I would urge you to contact the money lending team and you will get the best support you can.